welcome back to Bookend Gaming.
Hello!
It's Otaku Tuesday yet again, and we made it 2 weeks in a row.
Now featuring like 100% more taco.
Yes. I mean, we probably won't have any sex this episode.
Oh, alright.
It seems like every other episode it's happening.
Fine.
Depends on how far we get, I guess. But right now, his house seems to be doubled over in heart attack pain, so probably not anytime soon.
Anytime soon? No.
Yeah. Guess we'll find out. Okay, well, did I read this?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I did.
You have to wait for me to click, though.
Oh, I'm at your mercy. You have anything you want to talk about before we move on?
I don't know. No.
Okay. It's almost midnight here.
It is. It's late.
We go dancing something. After midnight.
Oh.
We're gonna let it all hang out. That's all I know.
Okay.
Dad quickly takes off towards him.
It's my dad.
Little care given to suiting up in overalls as he tramples the planted rice along the way. He can move damn fast when he wants to. My role in the affair being reduced to a mere spectator as Suzu also tries to lumber through the thick mud to the fallen boy.
He should be in the track team.
Helped up by Dad, Hisao brings an arm over his shoulder for support. The two slowly struggle back towards the house, a deeply concerned Suzu in tow. I feel terrible for not thinking of this. He was obviously pushing himself hard, and the sun's been beating down on us the entire time. As much as he may not want to admit it, Hisao can't exert himself as much as someone else might.
Miki, get the phone. The ambulance will be faster than the truck.
It's more expensive there in Japan, so never mind.
It's fine. Please.
You don't look fine.
It's happened before. I just need some rest.
Dad and I look to each other, unsure whether to trust him. Given that Hisao's the one with the condition, I just give a shrug.
He doesn't take his pills or anything.
Yeah, you just die.
All right, just let me get you inside for now.
Let me get you inside. The fracas of earlier is finally over, with Hisao's pain having passed.
It's gone. It's
fine.
It's nothing.
An air of uncertainty still lingers, though, as I'm pretty sure nobody's really convinced by Hisao's assurances that everything's fine now. With noon approaching and nobody having the stomach for returning to the fields, Suzu and I sit at the low table in preparation for lunch. Given what's on the menu, the reason for Suzu's fidgeting is obvious.
What are they having?
Fresh chicken, and actually fresh, unlike the crap in the supermarkets. I've seen it all before, but while I didn't expect Suzu to have the stomach to observe, I'm rather impressed that Hisao went with Dad to see the process. I do wonder how much of that was trying to regain his manly pride, though.
Yeah, chop the head off the chicken.
He cuts the head off and Hisao just passes out again. You okay?
Oh God, she hasn't talked in a while. I can't stop thinking about that poor chicken.
Well, don't worry about it, because it ain't thinking no more. What do you think happens to all the chickens you've eaten before? At least they're happier on a little farm like this.
I named him Colonel. While they're alive.
Just don't go vegetarian on me. My efforts to help her seem to be going nowhere, making me almost thankful for the sound of the door sliding open.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my God. Turning to see who's come through, my smile instantly turns upside down. Hisao's eyes are sunken back.
Because he's a demon?
His expression morbid and complexion a ghostly pale. You could be forgiven to thinking he just witnessed a murder. I kind of did.
Of a chicken? I should not have watched that.
The monotone statement is all that needs to be said. The boy coming to our table and sitting more like a robot than a human. I feel a little sorry for him. All I can do is scratch my head as I try to work out what to say. It's not that I don't understand how they feel. It's natural to become insulated from the reality of slaughter when the word meat means a shrink-wrapped package from the deli. I've yet to meet a farmer who enjoys the process either. I guess it's at least a reality check for him. Life on a farm isn't all frolicking about in the wilderness and heart attacks in the fields.
Sometimes you just gotta chop a head off a chicken.
Right? And they stay alive for a little bit afterwards.
What's up, you little bitches?
After some time, Dad eventually arrives with a large plate in his hands and a lot of blood on his shirt.
Yeah.
Hisao and Suzu couldn't look less excised to eat, with the thought of one of them hurling at the sight of chicken passing my mind. As he lowers the plate onto the table, the relief that washes over all of us is palpable. Rice bowls, assorted vegetables, and some fish. Practically a repeat of breakfast.
And where'd the chicken go?
But I was going to say, there's no way he killed it and then cooked it that quickly.
Right.
But he's likely scrounged up in a hurry. You're just going to waste that meat? I'm talking Hisao.
It'll keep. We can have sometime later. People don't care about fish. Sorry to make you go through all this trouble. Bah, it's nothing.
He quickly waves off Suzu concern as he takes a seat, grabbing his set of food from the platter.
Go on, eat. Kids your age need all the food you can get.
Hisao manages to force a bite down after taking his food, followed by more in quick succession as his appetite returns. I have no such reluctance, taking my chopsticks in hand and starting on my fish without any reluctance. Yeah, you said that. I had no reluctance, and I did it with no reluctance.
She had no reluctance.
My no reluctance was reluctantless. I guess you can take a city boy out of the city, but you can't make him into a country boy so quickly.
Thank God I'm a country boy. By the way, there was one other thing.
Suzu and Hisao look to each other with concern.
Just like messes with them and like holds up a dead chicken.
It was pregnant.
Aw.
He holds up a bunch of dead babies. It's like, wait, don't they lay eggs?
Yeah, wait, how did this happen? After all the work you did in the fields, I thought that maybe we could hit the baths.
Don't be weird. Awesome. Suzu seems nonplussed by the offer, but Hisao looks mighty interested. Today's looking up after all.
I bet he is. He gets the free show.
Right?
Gee, all right.
Wow, this is heaven.
There they are. There they are already.
West Virginia. I lean back against the wooden skirting with my elbows resting behind me, taking in the warmth of the water. Every pore of my body soaks in the heat of the bath and steam in the air. It's been way too long since I had the opportunity to do this.
Take a bath?
It's the bathhouse episode.
Yep.
Water flows in
Sure
via
we're not
a
going to
wooden
get any
pipe.
nudity?
Yeah, maybe. But no, probably no sex. Mounted just a little above the waterline, giving a nice ambient sound. That and the open doors revealing a faintly moonlit sky outside make for a relaxing atmosphere.
Oh.
Okay. The girl sitting next to me doesn't seem so pleased, her eyes closed as she sits next to me. Suzu always acts awkwardly in changing rooms and such, so I guess she's got a thing about being naked. Don't know why. She has a perfectly cute body down there, and the petite looks pretty in these days. I mean, has it ever been out?
I don't know. I like it.
I gently poke her cheek with my stump to make sure she hadn't fallen asleep on me.
She could drown. It's very important that
Right?
she doesn't.
You gotta, tie a rope around her head.
I'm awake. Sorry, I'm hotter and I can't focus.
And there's my answer. She might open her eyes, but she still stares at the ceiling instead of looking at me. You know, I never asked what you think of all this.
About the town?
No, my body. Yeah, Hisao's enjoying himself.
All
I can't get a
this.
read on you. Yeah.
It's a living.
What are you, a clock in Flintstones? Guess as long as you have an internet connection, you're fine, right?
You catch on quickly. I hate it here. Hisao sure seems to be enjoying himself. Health aside.
He's more adaptable than he looks. Sure was a surprise when he shot up that tree, huh?
At least you didn't bring along the others from that track club.
Hey, they're not that bad.
And yet the only one you brought along was Hisao.
Were you jealous? And?
You can be so stupid sometimes. I'll say it straight. You're interested in him, aren't you? I mean, yeah. Has that not been gathered by now?
Well, not. I
guess
mean,
not.
It's like she hasn't been aware of anything
That's
going
true.
on. The question leaves me momentarily speechless, my body sinking into the bath a bit as I try to pin down my feelings.
Well, I've already had sex a couple times, so...
If she puts things that way, it
He's
does
been
look
into me a
pretty
few
suspicious. I'm not sure if he wants to be pegged. I haven't brought it up yet. Hisao's a cool guy to hang out with, and his personality has become more interesting since I first met him. It's a little nice to look back and see that. But going out with him? I've never felt romantically attracted to anyone in the past, so I'm not sure how I'm supposed to work out if I'm falling for the guy or not. Relationships seem so constricting that I'm not sure I want to be in one in the first place. This untethered life has its advantages. I wonder if that's how he sees things, though. Now that I think about it, I never took his feelings into account.
Oh, that's great.
That sure is a gnarly question.
That's too much to think about.
It's totally tubular. Susan
Radical.
looks genuinely surprised that I'm mulling it over. She probably got some idea that I'd fallen for him in her head and been running with it for a while now. It's only now that I realize she may have an ulterior motive in asking.
Oh.
Wait, are you?
He's a friend, nothing more.
What about a threesome? She gets points for making herself clear at least. It's too bad. I would have thought him to be just her type. I just brought him here because I thought he might enjoy it. When he said he didn't have any friends back home to spend the time with, I guess I could... Damn it, what's the word?
empathize with him?
Yeah, that's it. I could understand how that'd feel, so I let him hang with us.
So that's why most of this trip we've been on the tour of your childhood.
So now we finally get to the heart of the topic. She thinks I've been showing Hasao my past out of affection. I guess I have been somewhat selfish in how I've been dragging them around with me wherever I wanted to go.
There's just not much to do in this town.
Right, what? Go to the bath every 2 minutes.
Don't worry about me, Hasao. If you have past debts to settle, go ahead and deal with them.
You make it sound like I have baggage.
Not a person alive who doesn't.
I guess that makes one person in the world who knows the carefree life I live in Yamaku isn't completely truthful. Even I thought I had my shit together, but it turns out life isn't always so simple. Thanks, Suzu. Probably don't say this enough, but I'm glad to have you around. I wait for a reply, but the only sound to be heard is water trickling in.
Sorry, I peed.
It got warm in here. I give Suzu another bump on the cheek with my
It's a
stump.
bathhouse, so I would...
Yeah. But this time, no reaction forthcoming. Well, I guess staying in a few more minutes wouldn't hurt. Alright then.
Oh, that wasn't as exciting as I thought it would be.
Right? Yeah, whatever.
I didn't know it'd be serious talk time.
Yeah, come on. We're supposed to, like, compare boobs. Haven't you ever seen an anime?
Exactly.
Gentle breeze flows through my hair as I stand where I spent so much of my childhood.
Is that a baseball field?
Yeah.
It's a baseball field.
Seems like it. It's a sorry excuse for a baseball pitch, I suppose. Not much more than a disused field near the school, covered in dirt and tan gravel. The only sign of what it ever used to be, what it was ever used for are the barely visible white lines on the ground, and a couple of benches to the side.
The diamond shape of the field.
Right, and that base right there. The batting stance is still second nature after all these years. Reasonably straight branch serving as a makeshift bat as I prepare for the pitch. The beat-up pitching machine before me stands silent, ready to spit a ball at me at any second. A heavy clunk sends the entire machine shuddering on its legs.
Just falls over.
That's what yeah. It makes that noise and the whole thing just falls to pieces.
Yeah, the entire machine launches at her.
The ball sent flying towards me at a relatively easy speed. The familiar feeling of impact flows through my arm, my entire body twisting as I give a good solid hit. The ball flies up, arcing into the sky. She's like, who's that one-armed pitcher, one-handed pitcher?
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
Abbott? Jim
Sure.
Abbott? No. I can't remember. Before giving up, pathetically dropping back down near second base, gives a soft thud as it hits the ground, all energy lost as it barely even rolls before coming to a halt. Worthless. Utterly shit. I knew I shouldn't even tried. Infuriated, I slam the stick against the ground, breaking it in half without even trying. The spike of adrenaline in my system spurs me into flinging the half, stealing my hand into the air in rage, sending it flying far further than the ball ever got.
Calm down. I mean, you were using a stick.
Yeah. Far from satisfied, I walk over to the pitching machine, give it a strong kick. The old thing falls to the ground with a loud clatter, but I'm sure it still works just fine. It's managed to survive so damn long that I probably couldn't kill it no matter how much I abuse the thing.
Starts spitting balls at her face.
A single tear comes out of it. But I loved you.
Miki.
The destruction at least lets me vent off a bit of steam, leaving me standing around frustrated and empty-handed.
I'm sorry, I won't throw you fastballs anymore.
For lack of anything else to do, I give up and let myself fall back onto the ground with a thud. Hurts a bit to land on the gravel, but I don't care. This is why being left to myself is always trouble. My mind wanders into troublesome places. Looking at the impossibly vast blue sky above, I'm left to wonder what I really expected from coming out here.
She's really having a moment here, isn't she?
Right. Baseball's supposed to be played with both hands still attached to their wrists. We'll tell that to that pitcher that I can't remember the name of.
Abbott or
After
whatever.
all, I want to say it's Jim Abbott, but I might be wrong. It's pathetic. I can't even get a clean hit past the bases, let alone aim in any meaningful way. It's obvious time would change that, but something in my head kept whispering to me, urging me to try just once for old time's sake.
I don't know, just start bowling.
I guess that part of my head can shut up now, play tennis,
Yeah.
and get really good with a backhand. As I stare up at the sky, a face-casting shadow looms over me.
Hey,
Are you a ghost? Sup, what are you doing
I
here?
can do that thing with my eyes again.
I'm here for the sex.
Just wanted to see if you were in a good enough mood for, see how you were up to after how you disappeared.
Suzu with you?
Nah, she's napping. At least she was when I left. They started walking here together. She just
She
collapsed
just, like,
on the ground.
fell over. He just kept walking.
And
She'll be fine.
I left her there.
I wonder how much he saw. Then again, it don't really matter. Being at a baseball field is plenty enough to understand, much less the pitching machine lying near me. Sal briefly looks up to see what I was starting at.
This will work a lot better if you set it up on its legs. That sure is a sky.
Yeah, I like how sky it is, smartass. Did you take Dad's bike up here?
Yeah, why?
You sure you're okay to bike this far after yesterday and all?
I'm fine, don't worry about it.
As Sal steps back, the tone of his voice telling me I've hit a landmine. He really doesn't like talking about his heart condition. I pull myself to my feet in response, dusting off my hair and the back of my shirt afterwards. You don't need to be like that. Everyone's got their share of problems to deal with, you know. My stomach chooses now of all times to growl loudly. Farting around at midday may have been a mistake. I thought like she was just gonna let out a fucking loud, like, wet fart. Sorry about that.
Guess I'm hungry.
The sound just grimaces because I just ripped ass in front of him.
It's all that chicken.
Oh my god.
You don't say.
As one last, like, in your face of the pitching machine, she just farts on it. While some things might be the same, there are a few oddities that have popped up since I left. This place is one of them.
Shanghai?
It's kind of an eatery that wants to be a restaurant, but can't help feeling more like a cafe. While the owner seems to be making a genuine effort at making their dream come true and owning their own little restaurant, their budget, and likely their customer base is lacking. But the food is what counts. And as the owner places a bowl of tempura soba before each of us, the smell is enough to know that this is gonna be good.
Oh, this is terrible.
I split my chopsticks and grab at the tempura, taking a good chunk out of it as the noodles steam away. Sal, on the other hand, simply blows on his bowl with the tempura still in it. Come on, man, what are you doing?
What do you mean?
You're just gonna let it get all soggy? Well, why'd they put it in here then?
It's called letting it soak in the broth. Tastes better.
Making a soggy mess in your noodles, more like.
You have been doing that recently.
Right? He just shrugs before idly looking about while his meal cools.
You know, there is something I've noticed about this town.
Yeah?
It sucks.
I lean in, interested to hear his views on it. It smells like farts.
I think saying it's a town is being too generous. It's definitely a village.
Come on, really?
Population is 7,500. So that the town center you wanted to show us before is one street.
So?
A small street. I can count the number of shops on one hand.
Yeah, but it's got a Dollar Tree. Alright, fine, jeez. We can't all come from the big smoke. Still a town. He just snorts as I mumble the last rebuke.
So why were you playing Godzilla in the baseball field anyway?
Because I love that song.
It's Gojira and...
And there it is. I guess I should have paid more attention to my surroundings before losing my temper. Well, that's what I usually do when I'm super pissed and want to kick things over. I stop and look around. Give myself time to calm down, and then I crash.
And then you lose your mind anyways.
The two of us are briefly distracted by an impromptu visitor, with a disheveled stray cat strolling past us as if it owned the place. It eventually hops up onto the sill of an open window, flicking its tail for a few moments before hopping down.
Cafe with a cat in it.
Yeah, everything's got like cat hair in it.
Uh-huh.
Sal just smiles, which at least lightens my own mood a little. I guess I just couldn't admit that it was over.
I had no idea you were so into baseball. Were you good?
Boy, I was the cleanup hitter. Slammed that thing harder than any of them could.
The ultimate baseball star. You must have been pretty talented.
Talent is how lazy people justified being bad at something. I worked my goddamn ass off to get that good. I lived and breathed baseball. Followed the leagues, had my favorite players, watched it on a little television even when the reception was shit. I put blood, sweat, and tears into it. I want to run for the base just a second or so quicker and hit the ball just a few more yards. If only I put that much into learning how power tools work. It was my thing, you know. I had purpose. I could always aim to be a little bit better every day. I never felt lost in life because I could see the path ahead so clearly. I was going to devote myself to become the best there was, whether I was a boy or a girl. And then the accident happened.
That must have been hard.
I just shrugged, making him lift a brow. It's kind of weird. Losing my hand in itself was a pain in the ass, of course. Found the physical therapy easier than most do, but that isn't really saying much.
I feel like it'd be more of a pain in the hand.
But the hardest thing to accept was that I'd reached my peak. I'd reached the top of my personal Everest and could only ever see the lower mountains before me. My life would all be downhill from there.
Should just be a pitcher, like that one-handed pitcher.
Yeah, like Jim Abbott. I'm about to look it up. What do you do after you reach the top, Hasao? In all these years, I've never found an answer. Say something long, Hasao. Sorry, I'm using you as a scratching post, aren't I?
That's okay, I like it. If I had an answer for that, I'd tell you. I'd sure like to know that myself.
Hasao? Jim Abbott! I was right. I'm a genius. I'm a sport boy.
Yeah! You're the one who sports.
I'm the one who pitches. He gets up from his chair. His meal finished, save for some broth left sitting in the bowl.
Let's go. I'm sure the others are waiting for us to get back.
As soon as we walk in the door, bikes left propped against the wall, I can hear the voices of Suzu and Dad from the living room, wondering what they'd have to talk about. Sal and I heads towards the source.
Oh God, they're naked!
So you got a boyfriend, or? I groan the moment he slides open the door. The two sit at the table with an old leather-bound album open in its center. Suzu peering over to see a photo, this photo and that. Do you have to show him that?
I don't get to do this often,
Why do you have so many pictures of me in the bath?
There's pictures of Miki in the bath?
Resigned to my fate, I follow Hasao to the table. Everyone crowds around to get the best view as Dad sits to the side. Having progressed past the baby photos in elementary school, sits at the years I was in junior high. A school photo takes up most of the page, with a few elementary students sitting on the chairs as about 14 junior high schoolers, me included, stand behind them in our summer uniforms.
I like the outfit.
She points at the back row, the girls clad in our black trim white sailor tops and long black skirts, and the boys in their smart white shirts. I don't mind the look, though. They tended to get dirty pretty fast.
Was this seriously the whole school? Sure was. One class for elementary students, another for junior high. The teachers were good folks, despite whatever Miki said. That's you, isn't it?
He points to a girl in the back row, grinning away happily. How'd you know?
The tits.
Dad chuckles as he turns the page, but the corner of his mouth tugs downward upon catching sight of the next photo. I was a hand model. 10 boys and a girl, all of us dressed in identical pinstripe baseball outfits, a lot less formal than the classroom photo. Some have arms around those next to them, while others don't have arms at all. Others pull faces. One of my better friends at the time grabs me in close around my neck as I hold my trusty bat over my shoulder. Our ponytailed coach simply stands by us, smiling with pride at the team he worked so hard to raise. Every one of us was a friend to each other. We had fights, of course, as friends sometimes do. As we got older, those fights sometimes ended up with real injuries, too. Given a focus for our youthful energy, we all poured ourselves into the sport, trying to be the best junior team there was. The last few months of my life here saw that wonderful life crumble before my eyes. I noticed Hasao looking sidelong at me. Without knowing quite how to react, I just look away.
I just fart. And leave the room.
I'm constantly crop dusting.
So this is a baseball club you were in? The baseball club. Wait, you were the only girl?
Yeah? Why?
A lot of things about you suddenly made a lot of sense.
Why you're such a slut.
It's kind of hard to even recognize you, given you're all wearing the same stuff.
Yeah, they ran out of baseball skirts. Puberty sure took a whack at me, didn't it? I mean, look at them milkers. Hasao's constant attempts to be tactful make it all too tempting to tease him.
You're looking at her milkers.
God, can you imagine? I mean, I've got stepdaughters, and Jesus Christ, if I ever was like, God, get a different shirt, I could see your milkers. They'd be so embarrassed. Oh my God.
They might never wear that shirt again,
yeah,
so it might work.
That's true. It would be effective.
What happened to them? Are they still around? They left for the city. Happens a lot these days. I heard about that. Lots of rural places having problems with the younger generations moving out, without people replacing them. Well, that's exactly it. The way I see it, there's not much of a future in places like this.
That must be frustrating.
Frustrating? Nah. Some of us older folks around here have opinions.
Capital opinions.
Capital opinions when it comes to today's kids, but I don't hold it against them. You two would know better than most how inviting city life must be. Convenient was the word they used when they described it after leaving.
But still, this is your home.
It might be a home, but it's also a business. Gotta make money to live, after all. When you're up against those gigantic agricultural corporations, little family farms like this one don't stand much of a chance. It's the same story for all the farms here, whether the old coots admit it or not. It's the most he's ever talked.
Right? I'm actually taking a break. It's kind of nice.
While it used to be a vibrant, lively place, I can't help but feel the town's not much more than a museum piece these days. Don't know if it'll take years or decades, but eventually this way of life just isn't going to exist anymore.
I'm sorry for bringing it up. Jesus, that's the most you've ever talked.
Don't be. Change happens. I know that. Ain't a good thing or a bad one. It's just the way things go. But even so, I guess it does feel a little bit sad.
Sao and Suzu appear to take him at his word, but I know something else lies behind those tired eyes, a wound that's never truly healed. With that, he solemnly closes the album. Why did I do this?
Yeah, this is a terrible
Every time I
idea.
bring this out. Once again, I find myself sitting on the porch in the cool nighttime air. I suppose it's natural to want some time alone when surrounded by people the entire day, even if it does mean getting less sleep. I look down at the photo held in my lap once more. 11 happy kids, beaming at the camera. A girl with a bat and a toothy smile.
You're up late.
Boop. He takes a seat beside me, plopping himself down with a grunt. My first instinct is to hide the photo, but the question of where I possibly puts a stop to that. Puts a stop to that. There we go. Become a bit of a nightly rendezvous, huh?
It stinks out here. Purely by accident, I swear.
You're not just feeling Randy again? Who's Randy?
No, I'm Hassan.
How's he feel?
So this is what I get for being worried about you? That's harsh.
We both chuckle, though it ends as Sal looks down at the picture in my hand. I doubt he picked up on Dad's feelings, but my moaning beforehand probably stuck with him.
I bet it did.
Yeah, of course.
It's a nice photo. You know, I was surprised not to see more baseball stuff around your house when I arrived.
Not much reason to keep that stuff. It only ever reminded me of what I lost, so I threw it all away. I hold the photo up a little. You know, I tried to get rid of this too. I scavenged a cigarette lighter and had the photo right there. I just hated it. It was the last record of everything that was taken away from me. My friends, my hobby, my dreams.
I burnt down the shed instead.
I wanted to get rid of it so much, but...
It's hard to truly let go.
Especially with one hand. With the words stolen from my mouth, I silently looked to the boy sitting next to me. He looks like an old man with that fucking sweater vest. The weary smile on his face making my heart sting a little.
I keep taking it off of him during sex, but he's not getting the hint.
You! Crank that soldier boy.
The letter you saw from Owanako? What? How did I get to that? Did I miss something?
He talked about hard to throw that kind of stuff away.
Okay.
Things from your past.
And then she said you.
Yeah.
Like, okay. I couldn't bring myself to throw it out. Scrunched it up and threw it into the bin, but I ended up just digging it back out.
But she broke up with you. What's the point in keeping something like that?
You should throw that shit away. Why am I so angry?
It smelled like her.
Because it proves those times existed. Just because she broke up with me, it doesn't mean the times we had before that went away. But you didn't have times.
Yeah, but it was proof that a girl would actually be interested in him. So when like other girls laugh at him, be like, "See, look,
right.
It happened."
Here's the confession letter. It's not just her either. Ever since I saw the nostalgia on your face, I guess I felt sort of the same thing as I thought back to my childhood. I know it's not the same as baseball was to you, but I never appreciated how much soccer practice meant to me until I lost it. Just getting together with friends every week to kick a ball around. Sounds so trivial, doesn't it?
He leans back and closes his eyes, his mind obviously in another place.
Messing around at arcades with friends, gazing at cute girls, sneaking peeks at dirty magazines and convenience stores, riding bikes around the city, covertly exchanging notes with friends during class, hoping for a good mark as each new test rolled around.
Figuring out a way to read the nudie magazines while leaving the plastic on?
Yeah.
I'll show you later.
And then sitting alone in a hospital bed, smelling bleach and staring at 4 sterile white walls.
What happened to them? The walls. Your friends, that is.
They're still there to this day. They visited damn near every day at first, all of us chatting away as they kept me up to date on what was happening at school and at soccer.
I don't think that happened. He never mentions that when he's in the hospital at the beginning of the game. I guess some people visited him.
He says that people met to visit him.
I was mostly at Wanako.
Yeah. Happening at soccer. Then it became once every few days, then once a week. As time went on, we stopped talking so much. None of us outright said it, but it was pretty obvious I was moving further and further away from my circle of friends. They were living lives full of new experiences every day, while I just saw the occasional new patient wheeled into the room every so often. Then finally, one day, they stopped coming at all. I guess they got bored of me.
How can you say that so easily?
Because they got bored of me.
Because fuck them.
Probably because I knew it was coming. It was the same for Iwaniko as well. A long, slow fade to nothing, rather than any kind of dramatic breakup. I suppose that's why I couldn't throw out that letter. It'd be easy to say my life got reset when I started at Yamaku, but that'd be a lie. I lived. It was a good life, too. Even if I can't return to those times anymore, I think I want to remember them.
And that's what you wanted to say to me before.
Pretty much. I just wanted to let you know that you're not alone. I kind of get what you're going through.
I did come here to show Hisao and Suzu what country life was like, but in the process I got completely distracted by the relics of my old life. Here I was thinking about myself while Hisao was out there going through all the same shit. Only now do I realize what made me notice him in the first place after he transferred in. Them shoulders. That feeling of connection, sharing something, that was always in the background. You're not alone. Those 3 words are enough to make a lump form in my throat. I take a deep breath and try to steady myself. Man, what the hell? I thought I had all my shit together, then you go and drop that on me. I just sigh and smile at him, clearing my thoughts as I do. Thanks. That means a lot.
So, sex?
He just smiles, the two of us looking up at the night sky.
Yeah!
Yay.
A scene! We did it!
We're close to it. That would be kind of short, but like it's a scene, so...
I don't know. We're making her have feelings and stuff.
I know, right?
Now we're in the woods again. Why are we in the woods again?
For more sex.
Oh, okay.
Because it's going to be the next episode, and we have sex every other episode, remember?
I guess. They probably are going to do it in the woods.
I bet they do. Watch out for ticks. I don't know if there are ticks in Japan. I assume there are.
Probably Japanese ticks.
Oh, God.
What's the difference?
I don't know.
There's no difference. I'm sure.
There's like the screen goes black, there's a white slash across the screen, and then there's a tick embedded in you.
Gotcha. It's like those flying leeches from...
Oh, God, yeah.
Fruits of Grisaya.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm never traveling to Japan. Yeah, we could call it there. I mean, I don't know if... I hope that's not too short, but it just makes sense to stop it at a scene cut like that.
I guess.
Because I don't want to read 2 lines and then take a 2-week break, you know? For us, not them.
Right. Okay, well, we'll see you next time then.
Yeah.
We're getting touchy-feely.
I mean, I'm feeling myself right now.
They did the touchy-feelies first, but now they're getting touchy-feely.
Right, they're actually going to develop feelings. What if I don't want to? What if I don't want a love story? What if I just want to...
Right?
A friend with benefits.
Miki and Suzu.
Yeah.
Simultaneously.
Yeah, and Misha.
Yeah, throw her in there.
Exactly. Always.
Get Emmy in here too.
Just every 5 clicks, there should be a Comfort Misha button that pops up.
They're gonna call her.
She just shows up. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What's Misha doing here?
It's fine. That's what we need. That's what I need.